Good morning. Time for everybody to sit down. My name's Thomas Oliver. I use he, him pronouns, and I feel like I'm speaking too loud. Okay. I serve as the treasurer for this congregation, and I'm happy to welcome all of you on Zoom and in the sanctuary. I love this place. This place is home. This place is a centering place for me, and that is why I come on a regular basis. Unitarian Universalists are a community of people who hold many beliefs, many origins, identities, sexualities, and genders. We uphold and celebrate the inherent dignity of every person, which means that you are welcome here just the way you are. Love is the power that holds us together as we gather in community to seek life's deeper meanings and to celebrate the diversity of all living things. We are all growing with and learning from one another. If you're here for the first time, we bid you a special welcome. After the service, I'll be in the sanctuary over in that area to answer any questions you may have about Unitarian Universalism or this congregation. If you have questions about how to become involved in our community, just ask. I also encourage you to explore our website, tahomauu.com. At that website, you can sign up for our weekly e-news that includes information about the important and fun events going on in the congregation and how you can participate. There is a lot going on always at this congregation, and I have a couple of announcements. The first from Jeanette.
Hi, my name is Janie Cox. I'm the one of the three people that coordinates the Third Friday Potluck. Fran McLaughlin and Maria Figueroa and I do it. Our Third Friday this month is May the 15th, coming up pretty quickly. Kathy McCall is our speaker. Her mom, Betty, is here. Kathy's on a road trip to the East Coast, so I haven't actually gotten a descriptive blurb from her, but she's a lobbyist for AARP in our state legislature, and she's going to be talking maybe a little bit about that and about benefits of AARP. The meeting starts, or the meal starts approximately 11:30. Come to the back door of the church. Everybody's welcome. There's a downstairs ramp for accessibility for those who don't know about it. And we will see you on May the 15th. Thank you.
And Patty McPhee is our second.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Patty McPhee. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the director of the gallery space along with Angela, who's my assistant. And Betsy, who is going to be helping me because I'm leaving right after service. So if you're interested in purchasing art, contact either Angela or Betsy. Please wave, you two. Yes, there you go. And they'll be able to help you. I look forward to having many more amazing art exhibits.
And it turns out I was wrong. There are 3 announcements.
At this point, we should just call me up every Sunday. So my first announcement is I would like to invite everyone to join us at the local ICE detention center for a protest. We're joining La Resistance. This is youth group led, but everyone is welcome to join us. It is from 1 to 9 and I'm 1 to 3, I'm sorry, this Saturday. And then another thing, I just want to remind everybody that we are doing a Mother Day brunch themed potluck after church service next Sunday. All right, that's it.
Okay, so you're also invited to join us for a social hour. Over here, there's coffee and goodies. For those who are newer to our community, we have red coffee mugs. And if you pick up one of those, you'll be identifying yourself as somebody who would like to chat. If you don't want to chat, you can carry a white mug. If you're someone who would benefit from a large print hymnal or a hearing assistance device, they're available at the back of the sanctuary. And we want to remind everyone that our services are available through Zoom and posted to YouTube, which means if you come up front, your image may appear on those venues as we begin our service in this beautiful place called Tahoma by local indigenous tribes and nations. I acknowledge that we meet today in the land of the Coast Salish people, including the Puyallup tribal nation, land from which they were forcibly displaced. I honor the resiliency of indigenous people and stand with them as they continue to protect their culture, land, and water, and fight for their visibility, sovereignty, and very existence. Lastly, please set your electronic devices on worship mode. Let us exhale deeply and settle ourselves into this holy moment of sharing and receiving. Now, let us join together in worship.
I'd like to start this morning with words from Bran Lennox. We have chosen to bring ourselves here to this sanctuary to gather as a community of faith. We join together in solidarity as a covenanted people who are drawn together by the promise of connection and the mysterious pull of the unanswerable. We draw on experiences of love and wonder to lift our hearts and move us beyond the mundane. As seekers, wanderers, appreciators of nature, connoisseurs of curiosity, and creators of connection, our paths have converged today so that we might become present to the spirit that is worship.
Our chalice letters this morning are Angela and Bijou. Please join me with the words that appear on the screen. We light this chalice in deep respect for the mystery and holiness in honor and gratitude for those who have gone before, with love and compassion for those who dwell among us, and with hope and faith for the generations to come. Our opening hymn is number 126 in the gray hymnal, Come the Fount of Every Blessing. Please rise in body or spirit.
Okay, this is the time for all ages when we ask all the young people at heart to first gather all the donations that everyone has brought with them. This is a weekly tradition that has recently expanded to self-care items on top of food. And this is just so great because this gives the kids a chance to be involved in social action and justice, which is one of our main values, right? Anybody else got anything else? Hold it up. Okay, I think that's everything. Okay, now I'd like to invite all the children to come up and sit down and listen to a story. This one will be enjoyable for me and all the other fellow nerds in the room. Okay, apparently the microphone wasn't being very agreeable. Star Wars, I am a Jedi. I am a Jedi.
Hold you in our love as you go, as you go. May your heart be at peace as you go. To nurture the spark of your precious life. We hold you in our love as you go. We hold you in our love as you go, as you go. May your heart be at peace as you go. To nurture the spark of your precious life. We hold you in our love as you go.
Good morning, everyone. This is Scott. I am the chat chaplain today. I am among the 7 people who are joining you virtually. Thanks for having us. Maybe we can do our own part to restore the balance by giving as generously as possible. You can follow the instructions on screen there, or when the ushers come around in a moment, please put your offerings into those baskets. Thank you all. May the ushers come forward.
Please join me with the words on the screen as we dedicate our offerings. We dedicate our offerings to the work of this congregation, weaving a tapestry of love we call community, both within and beyond these walls. Our meditation hymn is number 298, again in the gray hymnal, Awake Now My Senses. Please stand in body or spirit.
In his book, Awe, The New Science of Everyday Wonder, UC psychology professor Dacher Keltner writes, "Wonder, the mental state of openness, questioning, curiosity, and embracing mystery arises out of experiences of awe. In our studies, people who find more everyday awe show evidence of living with wonder. They're more open to new ideas, to what is unknown, to what language can't describe, to the absurd, to seeking new knowledge, to experience itself, for example, of sound or color, bodily sensation, or the direction thought might take during dreams or meditation, to the strengths and virtues of other people. It should not surprise the people who feel even 5 minutes a day of everyday awe are more curious about art, music, poetry, new scientific discoveries, philosophy, and questions about life and death. They feel more comfortable with mysteries, with that which cannot be explained." So I'm going to first start with a minor apology to Sheila, Marianne, and the tech team. I struggled a bit with what I was going to say today and the hymns I was going to use. For those of you that know, I've been before I was UU. I belonged to a Christian, explicitly Christian church. It was progressive Christianity. It wasn't conservative Christianity, but it was explicitly Christian. And so I've given Christian sermons for 25 years of my life. So it is sometimes an adjustment here, where I don't hear a lot about Christ or the divine. And so as I was pondering the monthly theme of awakening curiosity, and I was looking through the UU materials online, and I was trying to figure out what hymns we were going to sing, and I started digging through our hymnal. And I started looking up curiosity and seeking and questioning. And there were so many hymns in our hymnal that talked about God and asking questions and being guided by the divine. But in the 2 years that I've attended here, I've not heard those hymns sung. I've not heard the divine or God mentioned from the pulpit much at all. And so I wasn't sure what I was gonna say. And maybe there's been some and I've missed it. I won't say I have perfect recollection of all of the services I've been in, but it certainly felt like it was not as present as it seems to be in the hymnal. Now, I do want to offer a little bit. I'm by no means going to stand up here and preach about a Abrahamic, patriarchal, omniscient, like that. That's I'm not going there. But I do feel as we think about awakening curiosity, and my brain was pondering where we start with that curiosity and thinking and pondering and wondering and wonder. And in fact, Socrates, famous mystic and anti-intellectual that Socrates was, said that wisdom begins with wonder. And in fact, Neil Armstrong himself says that mystery creates wonder, and wonder is the basis for man's desire to understand. And for me, as we think about awakening curiosity and wonder, I find myself going back to feelings, maybe not of the God of Christianity, but certainly to some bit of something larger, something divine, some connectedness. There's a story that I'll summarize for you. That the UU materials presented as an option was about a religious man inquiring and starting a discussion about the nature of God. And mysticism, the mystic talks about interpersonal connection and wellness in community and empathy and the strength of working together and this connection to a larger body of people. And is this what you mean by God? And the scientist talks about the interconnectedness of the cosmic fabric, the quantum entanglement, and the idea that we're made of star stuff. And is this what you mean by God? And the punchline of this whole thing was that maybe we really don't know what word we're using, God, divine, whatever, but there's really some truth to the idea that however we look at life, we are a part of something much larger than just ourselves. And sometimes I feel we forget that. We lose track of that. My wife, Jenna, has a habit of putting on podcasts while she does chores, vacuuming, doing the dishes, whatever. There's a podcast she stumbled on recently called The Post-Magical Era that talks about people feeling like the world is disenchanted. The idea that we love stories of elves and dwarves, of wizards and spaceships and things that are fantastical because our lives have gotten so very boring. And I can vibe with that. I sometimes lose track of the fantastical. Life feels disenchanted. And not this past Thursday, but the Thursday before, I was planning for some fishing trips. And I was doing some work on my kayak, and I broke the rudder. Now, I broke the rudder on my kayak on Thursday. I had a fly fishing trip on Friday, and the kayak trip was Saturday. I didn't have time to fix this thing. So it was after my third trip to Home Depot, when I was on my way to Ace Hardware, that I took the ramp from I-5 to 512, headed towards Pacific Ave for the Ace Hardware that's right there. And I stopped. All the worry, all the stress, how am I going to fix my rudder? What am I going to do about the kayak? And then how am I going to pin the cable and all of those things? Because you know what? The mountain was out. And that on-ramp onto 512 from 5, you just get that glorious vision. And for a moment, I lost the stress about what I was going to do about my rudder. I lost the worry about how I was going to do any one of the particular things that I was stressed about. And I just appreciated the mountain. I was struck with a moment of wonder, of awe. And then the next day, that Friday, I was out on the Yakima River with David Pettit, fly fishing. I caught a little whitefish, not very big. I didn't get any trout. It was fine. It's fine. But again, I had a moment there. Michael, if you could put it on screen. The Yakima River. Here I was standing out in the middle of it. Gorgeous. And go ahead, go to the next one, Michael. This was me yesterday. Oh, at about 6:30 in the morning on Copolis Beach, hunting down razor clams. Just the beach and the ocean. And sure, it's gray, but man, it's massive. And so again, And this is a picture of our trip when we moved from Texas up here a couple of years ago. This is a shot from the top of a cliff in southern Oregon. There's a preserve that's just 84 miles of nothing but a single road. And at the end of it, there's this cliff. And you hook and you got to drive just straight along this cliff. But this is the view from the top of it. You can see for miles. And yeah, I was worried about moving. I was worried about the stress of unpacking. I was worried about all sorts of things. But man, when you see a view like that, but it doesn't always have to be that big. Go ahead, Michael, go to the next one. Here's this is Pismo Beach down in California. Again, absolutely stunning. Just a moment that takes your breath away. Wonder and awe. And sure, there's science behind light refraction and there's all that, but in that moment, who cares? Go to the next one. This is just here. This is like just a couple of miles away. There's a hiking trail. And again, like just these moments of I could take a lunch break and go here and experience the divine, have my mind put in a state of wonder and awaken the curiosity. But again, these are all fantastical images. And by the way, I've talked with Patty McPhee. Here, sometime next year, you might be able to buy these prints or prints similar to it from the show. Go and go to the next one. But sometimes it's not big vistas. Sometimes it's not huge landscapes. This was just some mushrooms growing on a log. I've shared some of my nature photography with a few of my friends, and they can all react to and like and upvote and whatever. I was shocked by how many of them liked this image more than some of the other big nature shots. Sometimes it's the little things. It's just noticing some cool looking mushrooms you've never seen before. Or the next one is just a train that's over on Ruston Way, and the train just happened to match the trees. At face value, there's nothing magical there. There's nothing enchanting. There's no elves here. There's no dwarves. But if you pause for a moment and you just appreciate it, or even less far away, this is just a neighbor's garden. I saw this just taking my friend's dog for a walk. Now that's all the photos I have to share here. But sometimes I feel like we lose our connection to these things. And especially as we some of us, and I don't know about everybody here in this room, but I know my wife has some trauma associated with, Southern Baptists' view on what God looks like. But I've found that there are many different ways to describe what the divine means to people. There's a take in the book Their Eyes Were Watching God that talks about a creation myth in which at first there was a gem, a crystal that was formed, and that the angels grew jealous of this perfect crystal, and so they broke it, and they shattered it into 1,000,000,000,000 pieces. And those were still too bright, and so they covered them all in flesh and mud. But that when people come together, when they learn to resonate with each other, We can still get the little gems that are inside each and every one of us to resonate together, to sing a song together, like the crystal we once were. There's theologies that talk about chi, the energy behind the universe, connecting ourselves to the fabric and the resonance behind everything. There's some scientists say that if you really get down into the nitty-gritty of what even makes up an atom and quarks and photons and all of these things, that matter itself is merely energy that's just been slowed down. And so the entire universe is a singular massive energy pulsing and vibrating similar to the way our brains do. So what's to say the universe itself isn't a living thing and we are just the neurons all working together to figure ourselves out? It's a wild thought. But however you choose to view what I generically refer to as the divine, I think it adds something. The idea that there is wonder out there, the idea that we can be enchanted. We can experience the fantastical. Again, I in my discussion of the divine, I like to bring up these famous anti-intellectuals like Neil deGrasse Tyson. If you think of the feelings you have when you are awed by something, for example, knowing that elements in your body trace back to exploded stars, I call that a spiritual reaction. Speaking of awe and majesty, where words fail you. Or, Albert Einstein. There are two ways to live. You can live as if nothing is a miracle, or you can live as if everything is a miracle. The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious, is the source of all true art and all science. He to whom this emotion is a stranger, who can no longer pause to wonder and stand wrapped in awe, is as good as dead. His eyes are closed. And the podcast that Jenna was listening to, the post-magical era, talked about, well, what do we do? This idea of wanting this enchanted world. It quotes, now this one is less a scientist, but the nerds in here will humor me on this one. J.R.R. Tolkien. He gave a treatise before the start of World War II called On Fairy Stories, in which he talked about the need for escapism and the need for the fantastical to survive the post-industrial world. But he talked about how to survive this world when we can't escape. And what he says is that fairy, that's what he refers to as the fantastical, fairy contains many things besides elves and fae, and besides dwarves, witches, trolls, giants, and dragons. It holds the seas, the sun, the moon, the sky, and the earth, and all the things that are in it, tree and bird, water and stone, wine and bread, and ourselves, mortal men, when we are enchanted. And so I would simply suggest that as we struggle to get through these tough times, because these are tough times, that we put some effort into rediscovering the little things, into finding ways to still experience divine wonder.
Our closing hymn is in the Gray Hymnal 326, Let All the Beauty We Have Known. And Marianne is going to play through it one time before we attempt to sing it. So please rise in body or spirit. Let all the beauty we have known illuminate our hearts and minds. Rejoice in wonders daily shown, in faith and joy and love that binds. We celebrate with singing hearts our loving bliss of joy and youth, by inspiration of the arts, the miracle of every birth. Life's music and its poetry surround and bless us through our days. For these we sing in harmony, together giving thanks and praise. Yes.
J.R.R. Tolkien had one last thing to say on fairy tales. The fantastical is made with parts originating from the normal world, but a good craftsman loves his materials.
Please join me in the words on the screen as we extinguish the chalice. There we go. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And let us join together in our closing blessing song. From you